Photographers are like bungee cord jumpers. They're unlikely to survive into their 40th year. They bounce. They bounce their flash at the ceiling. They take tours of canyons and never come out. Doesn't mean I'm not going to help 10 of them. If they ask for help, I'll help.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Today's Color Science is brought to you by Kellogg's, and it's Sony. I don't think overexposing one stop is the way to go at all. I don't believe in it anymore. 0.7. Huh? We learned something today. First question. Why are you not using Sigma Art DGDN lenses for your studio film? He's serious too, isn't he? Oh God, he's serious. They offer better color rendition, contrast than Sony glass. 24 and 85 is all you need, which can be bought for under 2K. Oh wow. Oh, how far have we come? Sigma has no soul. They don't belong in an art building. They have no dignity. They don't try to like wow us. They just go, I want to get the corner sharpness of the century. Make it bigger than possible, heavier, but cheap. Sigma bores me to death. If all we had was Sigma lenses, I would quit my life. I mean, Sony glass is nothing to write home about. Don't get me wrong here. The only reason I'm on a Sony camera is because I can put Voigtlander and Zeiss lenses upon it. We're on the Voigtlander, a Flat Earth Santa special. Comes with 6 packets of sushi. Is Canon R7 with RF 70 to 200 2.8 enough for video? Oh, you son of a bitch. Wildlife? Thank you for your response. No, it's not. R7 is like a mediocre attempt at wowing budget level, entry level, like kindergartens trying to get into a roller coaster for the first time. That's what that setup would get you. Just footage of that at a carnival where everything's in focus. With the 4K 60 crop, you could in theory get some footage, but I don't think that's the way you want to go. Like these super crops, Fuji X-H2S had like a huge crop in 4K 120, even bigger in 240, FX30, this giant leap crop, and then you get like a wider prime lens like that, and like, are we compensating? I don't think that's the route to go. Just go full frame, try to get the best you can, and that's not going to do it. 600 mil is your goal for wildlife. I could be totally happy with just that 200 to 600. It is nice with the teleconverter and the 10% 4K 120p crop. 924 mil. I don't hate it. But like 600, you're pretty good to go. Anything less is uncivilized. Great comparison. What if I compared your mom to your dad? Which one loves you less? The answer would be one of them. If you were getting your first camera for wildlife videography, would you go with Sony a7 IV or a7S III? Also, would you go for the 70, 200 to 600 mil or the Sigma 6? Oh, I can't believe you people. How do you infiltrate my show? Do you not listen to a damn word I say? Sigma cannot sync stabe on anything with IBIS. Unless you have an EOS R with no IBIS, and then it's only lens stabe, not fighting with anything else, maybe you could do that. An R8. R8. Doesn't roll off the tongue like an R9 would. But obviously, 200 to 600 is your lens. It's not even that expensive. It's like the deal of the century for anything. The affiliate link's down below. If it was me, obviously a7S III, superior. 4K 120p versus 4K 60p with a crop. The fuck? The sensor is already cropped. 2 crops. HD 240 versus disgusting 120. Come on now. A couple hundred dingers in your pocket. Go for the a7S III. You're always amusing while testing different lenses and cameras. Love. I'm torn between Samyang 12. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I look at my notes? Samyang for Fuji, or Fuji 14mm 2.8, or Fuji 60mm 2.8, or Fuji 18 2.2. That's a lens. For my next travel as a single lens, I want to go light. Travel vlogging, street photography, whole body shots, some portraits. Some of the lenses I mentioned, would you recommend a single lens? I read that. Okay, here's the deal. I'm not prepared. How far do you plan on holding the camera away from your face? That is the question you have to ask yourself. I would say the 18mm Tony 2, that's your lightest option, but you have to be on something like a Nebula fully stretched like that. Are you seeing that? Is that what you're doing as you're walking and you're holding your arm out like that? If not, 18mm is too tight for you. I would say same thing for the 16mm. I would be doing that with a 16mm. If you're planning on just holding the camera and you want 16mm, forget your life. 14, see, now once you get to these wider focal lengths on a Fuji, you're warping like crazy. I love that lens. It has a unique look, but it's very old. The autofocus is shit. Super wobbles. Samyang don't even look at. Oh man, what a bunch of bullshit options. I would probably do the 16mm 2.8, but hold it far. I'm quite new here, but may I ask why you and the whole tube practically never consider Nikon anymore? Is Z9 a crap? We want to consider them, but Nikon executives don't reach out to the YouTuber of the future. Nobody cares at Nikon. They're not making anything for us, and when they do, it's their neglected APS-C lineup that they're targeting for vloggers. They made the Z50 like 8 years ago, and it sucked. Then they updated it to a new body with vintage Fuji controls, same exact spec, nothing changed. Like 7 years later, they make the Z30, same exact camera, nothing has changed, only the flippy screen now flips that way properly. What are they doing? Why are they taking so long? I know why, because they've made 17 400mm lenses. And that's all they've been working on, just 400mm primes and zooms and frick, I want to love Nikon. I want to try one. Nobody will give me one to test, like a camera store. None of them will lend me. I've asked Aiden Camera, Henry's, frickin' Camera Canada. Nobody has one. Nobody will let me try it. The only time I've ever tried one is in a store where I have like 6 minutes to get my settings right, and we all have seen the results of that. Bad news. So, like, I saw a Z6 Mark 1 for like 1,300 Canadian. I was like, what's the point? Like, no flippy screen. You end up getting arrested and taken to an insane asylum because you don't even know if you're recording or not. It stops and then you're talking to nobody. The thing keeps going on. We've seen it. We've seen the results. So those are my thoughts on why dolphins are probably smarter than humans. I don't know. They seem to
at it again,
create...
Tom.
What?
Yeah, he's making a video.
No, I'm making a video.
No, you're coming with me.
It was recording.
The thing's not even recording.
No, I pressed
Tim,
record.
come on.
I can't see it.
You're
There's no
insane.
flippy screen.
You're talking to nobody.
It was recording. I'm not crazy. I'm not.
You come with us.
No.
Just come
not
with
again.
Us. It's time to go.
Again. So I hope Nikon gets on board and starts making something interesting. They have like good specs. Nice autofocus, custom modes, like they're almost there. Just give me a flippy screen and some better specs. Some 4K 120, HD 480p. We're good to go. Bring something. Soon, low megapixel. Come on, you know the formula. I've laid it out. When will Canon and Sony have open gate? Hopefully never. What's your you're the problem with our world. Why are you doing this to me? Your social media account should be banned. We don't need the vertical slits of death. I don't care about you. Why are you holding your phone scrolling through something? Go accomplish something for our world. We're in trouble here on Earth. Make a contribution. That's a word. Come on. Open gate is the dumbest theory we've ever had. To get open gate, you need a way higher megapixel than you would ever need for video, just so you can crop in. It's on a phone anyway. All this stuff is for phone use. You don't need high resolution for a damn thing. It's on a phone. Cropped in. here we are. You did it on the lowest megapixel thing. Boom. Thank you. Now move on. Do you people not understand that because you want an open gate sensor, my regular 4K 240p can't exist? And it's crippled. It's like either oversampled or line skipped, and it can only go up to a certain frame rate, probably cropped. Magic happens when just enough megapixels are used, a humble amount. Don't take no more than you need. One little snack. I'm done. Then you move on. I'll move on to your house and marry your mother. Besides the Chinese phone, what's the best option for cheapest slow-mo? That's the problem with our world, is that the Huawei P40 Pro still leads the industry in slow-mo. It's 3 years old and nobody's even catching up. They're still making much worse looking slow-mo. I don't get it. The budget slow-mo options are that phone used through my affiliate links, the Sony ZV-1, which is awkward to use if you're going to try to film yourself on slow-mo, because Sony decided that you have to press a button on the back of the camera to lock focus in coupulation with a frickin' 40mm lens. It could be so easy with just a little timer or a motion trigger like the Huawei has. That's why that's superior. If you want to do yourself, I can either put a motion box and leap into it, and then boom, I got it. Or I could just press the timer, little 5-second or 10-second, run out into the street, and then magic will happen. Sony, I have no options to do anything. Lots of cheap cameras do like 120 frames per second, but 240 is pretty rare, and getting higher even rarer. So GoPro 11, pretty darn good. They've been doing 2.7K at 240 frames. Not bad. So that's the options, and I have most of them. Sony ZV-1, I have no desire for due to the awkwardness of using it. So P40 Pro and GoPro 11 are my go-tos. If you want to jump up from that, you got to go A7S III, $71 more. I've been doing research for about a month, was going to buy a Sony A7S III to take with me to Alaska. As if this guy hasn't been eaten by a polar bear. Why am I even answering this? He's dead. He's as good as dead. I saw the footage from the Chinese spy balloon. I've seen it. I've seen it. The announcement of S5 II and the quality of the GH6 has me teetering. Good hybrid camera, 4K 120p, okay. S5 II doesn't even do that, so we scratch that one off the list. I have helped you. Oh, we are narrowing it down. Direction, months, closing by, goal, bears, Alaska. S5 II or GH6? Should I look at something different? Keeping my budget around 3.5K. Is it dark in Alaska? Seems like there's a lot of snow and reflecting light off the snow, making things bright, making Micro Four Thirds a viable option for you. I would probably go GH6. If you don't need autofocus, do you? You might. Then you're looking at stuff that's pretty nice. Is that or the A7S III? I prefer the A7S III myself, but it is more expensive. But that battery life, it's much better on the A7S III. GH6 has some weird quirks. Battery really bad, delay to turn on, delay to record, 2 seconds. Boom, I'm getting, oh, it's not even starting yet. Oh, I missed it. A lot of quirks, not many lenses. I've used all three of those cameras. I prefer the A7S III, sold the GH6, gave back the S5 II. I could have taken it. I could have sent back a Chinese knockoff camera like a Casio something, and Panasonic would be like, oh, I thought we sent him the S5 II. Oh, well. I could have done that. I wouldn't even want to. Wouldn't even want the camera. And investing in a GH6 right now is just a dumb business decision. Because we know Painted Boy is coming with phase detect in all their cameras at some point. In fact, after selling my GH6 for $2,200, they lowered it again to $2,100. So like $100 less than I sold it for. Plus tax though, so it would have somewhat. Panasonic bad investment. Confirmed. Hi Camera Conspiracies, I love your videos. Would you recommend the RP in 2023 as opposed to an A6400? Also, is the Canon adapter with EF lenses worth investing into? It is. It's probably your better option. EF lenses are kind of unique. The RP is debunked. The R8 is much better. That's the RP Mark II, for some reason called a different name. At this point, I would say the R8 is the better buy than the A6400. You're getting 10-bit, 4K 60, HD 180p. Both have no IBIS. Battery life shit on both. Better lenses on the Sony, but whatever. You could get by with something. R8 sucks, but you could do with it. All right, last question. Olympus EM1 Mark II or Nikon Z30? That is the sad state of our world. I really enjoyed the EM1 III, and that's basically the same thing, but that has no 120 frames per second. That hurts. No slow-mo. I wouldn't stoop back down to that level. Whereas the Z30, it has 120 frames. You could get by, but no lenses. You only have one kit lens that you could even use, because that's the only stabilized wide lens they have. So you're looking at buying that with the kit lens and being done forever. And there's your setup. Like, so boring. But I could make it work. I have made it work. The Z50 with that lens, same exact camera. The only difference is the shell.
Oh, he's at it again.
Shells. I collect shells.
He's making a video to nobody.
Life.
Yeah, no, you're coming with me. No, the thing's not even
so
recording.
many people today.
Tim, come on.
Go spread
You're insane.
the joy
You're
that I
talking to
spread
nobody.
today in your heart.
You have to press the
And
record
this world
button.
will
Enough of
become
this.
a better
Come with
place.
us. Just come with us.
I'm gonna leave.
It's time to go.
Thumbing that video up.
We've had your fun. Let's go. Let's get this show on the road here. It's your time in an insane asylum.
Subscribe to my down saying.
Don't. It'll be fun.